Okay, we've had a lot of negative posts from me from the last few days in regards to some of the games in the gacha space because, I think it's worth talking about things that are not going the way that they should be. And I also think it's worth talking about things when they're going in a better direction. Right now, this is not to say all is forgiven. I just want to make that clear. Some people tend to think that I'm just gassing things up when I do look at things a little bit more positively, but I try to be as objective as I can and look at it as it is. But we got some more Black Beacon news, guys. We have more Black Beacon news. Now, obviously, we know it's had a rocky launch, right? To say the least. It's been a rocky road, okay? And we know that at least for global, anyway. Now, I've heard the rumors. I haven't been able to confirm them, but I heard that in CN, they were encouraging people to use emulators, other emulators, to play the game, right? I don't know how true that is. Just heard it through the grapevine. But we know that in global, we were blocked from using them. If you tried to use BlueStacks or LD Player, it just wouldn't work, basically. I think it was treating it as if you were using, like, cheats or something, or at least the code was referring back to something like that, like a cheat engine. So it was basically seen as something you can't use, just straight blocking you out from even booting the game up. Or at least it will boot and then it will just close anyway. But we got some news on that front, guys. And that is that the Black Beacon devs want to try and move to getting the game onto other emulators now. Because if you don't know, if you haven't played the game or you've only played it on mobile, at the moment, the only way to play this game for PC players is through the Google Plays Games beta, which, if you haven't tried it, it's not the best experience, right? I think one day it might possibly be the best experience for emulating mobile games on PC, but at the moment, it's not quite there. Stability on a lot of games is just a little bit iffy sometimes. Now, stability on emulators in general can be problematic, but there's a lot of audio issues. I had to move to BlueStacks from the Google Play Games beta in regards to playing Arknights because the audio issues just got really frustrating. It started off not too bad, and then as I played the game more, just crackling, stuttering to the point where stages would start to stutter as well. It was an enjoyable time, and it was frustrating to try and stream it as well. Got to the point where, the streamer really noticing it as well. And, it's been a rough time for Black Beacon over on the Google Play Games beta anyway. But let's go into this post where they talk about trying to get the game onto other emulators and see what they've got to say. And let's talk about it, shall we? I'd love to know your views in the comment section as well. Of course, I know the thing that we really want is a PC client. This is a smaller dev team, so we can't expect all the bells and whistles right off the bat. I've got to defend them on that point, right? There's a reason they're using multiple different publishers. This is a smaller team with less resources, so we've got to expect, some issues in regards to certain things, getting things out everywhere at the same time, getting them on all systems, just not going to happen, right? Hopefully, we can get to that point, though. Let's have a look at this post, anyway. Dear Seers, we are truly grateful for the responses and feedback following our recent announcement. Your support and encouragement mean a great deal to our team. That's good to see, that they've been reflective again, because I do think that last post that they made was a good post, really, if I'm honest. It doesn't really change all the prior things. I think it was a good post. We would also like to address one of the concerns raised by some players regarding the current lack of emulator support. We understand that this has caused inconvenience for those who prefer to rely on emulators to enjoy Black Beacon. This is true. Even though Google Play Games is an emulator, really. It is. It's just the Google emulator, isn't it? Ahead of the global launch, we carefully reviewed the possibility of supporting emulator use. However, due to overall stability concerns, we determined that it would be difficult to support emulators at launch. Well, that's quite ironic, considering how unstable the launch was anyway. So, I don't think that would have been a worry, if I'm honest. Now, maybe it might have been even worse. I don't know, but it was pretty terrible anyway. So, I don't think that was a massive worry, to be fair, for them, because it kind of fell flat on its face a little bit in regards to stability, performance, all of that stuff, which they've really got to work on that as well. They've really got to work on that. As I said, there's going to be a lot of players who are not going to come back to this game, right? There just are. They've got to really work on courting players back now, as my nan would say. Are you courting yet? They've got to really work on courting players and bringing them back. They've got to come out with some really good updates. They've got to stick to what they said in the previous post. They've got to work on performance, bugs, keyboardings. Getting on as many emulators as possible as well is a step in the right direction. These are steps in the right direction. The last two posts, got to admit, W's, right? because they've been posting nothing but L. So, you know, I guess the only way is up, I suppose, hopefully. We've made steady progress on overall system stability through recent development updates. As a result, we are currently working with the development team to support emulator compatibility. Emulator support is expected to become available within 1 week. Okay, so that's going to be pretty soon then. So that's good to see. At least they're obviously working on that quick. If there are any changes to this timeline due to ongoing development, we will inform you through a separate announcement. I wouldn't be surprised if things do get delayed. I said this before, you know, that hopes for a PC client, all that sort of stuff. Those things might end up getting delayed to what they might have been because of how bad the launch has been. I think the primary thing now, get it onto other emulators, because a lot of people just don't want to use Google Play, and I understand. Get the game running better, which they've worked on. You know, things are better, but they've really got to work on things like controls, you know, quality of life updates, in my opinion. And yeah, getting it on all emulators would be a massive thing for me, because I would definitely go to BlueStacks to play the game, if I'm honest. That's if I come back to playing the game properly. I do admit, I reinstalled the game to get my free 5-star selector, and I did pull on the new banner, got the new character, and I'm probably just going to wait and see what happens now, right? I've got to be honest, I'm probably just going to wait and see if they can bring me back in with some good content. We are sharing this information early in line with our recent commitment to communicate more proactively with our players. As always, we sincerely appreciate your patience and understanding, and we remain committed to providing a smoother and more accessible experience for all seers. Okay, you know, again, somebody didn't like this when I said this last time. Credit where credit's due, and I mean that. I believe that. You don't have to believe that, okay? But, yeah, again, they're following up. We said time will tell. In regards to their previous posts, are they going to stick to it? Are things going to be equal across the board? Are they going to be open and transparent? Is the communication going to be better? Okay, step one, so far, quite quick on this reply. You know, they're being quite transparent about things. Although, it's kind of funny that they talk about the stability concerns, because that's just kind of hilarious after what's happened, like, you know? So, yeah. And then obviously they've just got this image here of the most annoying character, I think, in gacha gaming, in my opinion. Might be even more annoying than Paimon. Please, if one thing I'll say as well to the developers, Enki is not as endearing as you guys think, okay? Can I just say that? This geezer, this kid, this little shit is not as endearing as you guys think. I just want to get that out there. I fucking hate this little shit. Anyway, moving on. That's a personal problem. That's a personal problem. But yeah, this is a good thing. Let's see what some of the people are saying here. Yes, now we're really talking. Keep becoming proactive, transparent, and specific comms is meta. If you set up good in-game surveys, devs can action after the races here. Yeah, true. It's fair. Fair point. Nice. Just need to fix the black screen in some Android devices now and optimize the Google Play Games version for PC players. They will not change other emulators. Maybe bringing some more languages to the game would be nice too, since we are in the AI era and this is supposed to be easy. Thank you for informing this. The bolded sentence because people here don't read. Also, please address the general term issue. Thank you. Would appreciate the ambiguous MC terms more. How about the game keeps on having network or connectivity issues even though having strong connection? Again, right, we've got to be honest, right? This is good, but again, agree with this here. You know, the game, it doesn't matter how many platforms you've got the game on, how transparent you are. If the game is not running well, it's continuing to have issues, continuing to have bugs, it's a problem. Again, when I reinstalled the game and I got the character selector and I pulled on the banner, I thought, you know what, stuff it, while I'm out, let's do a little bit of content. I was clearing some stages, started to do some of the harder content, and I had a bug where literally I couldn't move. I could attack, I could use my skills, I could dodge, but I literally couldn't change direction. Like, I was just stuck. I had to reboot the game to get it to work. Like, I backed out the stage, came back in, still a problem. Rebooting the game seemed to fix it. And things like that, right? You know, they have got to be fixed. It doesn't matter how many platforms you're on, if they're still happening. They're just game killers, really, aren't they? You know, they really are. People won't stick around. And again, on top of all the other problems, it's it's cumulative at the end of the day, isn't it? Please bring it to PC client or better yet to Steam so we can play there better. I agree. I think the final destination, there's no getting around it, right? When it comes to PC players, you want a proper PC client, right? You want a proper PC client. Look at Arknights. It's took, what, 6 years to get a PC client for Arknights? But at least I'll say my experience anyway, playing the game on BlueStacks has been smooth as butter. I've had no issues. I've had one crash, actually, It wasn't so great on Google Play Beta, but I definitely would rather play on a proper PC client that's tuned to the PC audience as well. So yeah, this is good. Don't want emulator, want dedicated actual PC client. Totally fair, totally fair. But you know, I think we've got to, guys, we've got to understand again. This is a smaller dev team, right? You know, they don't have the resources of Huyo, of Kuro, of a lot of the other developers out there. Well, at least I don't think they do anyway. I might be talking shit, but I don't believe so. These are a smaller team, and smaller teams don't have access to be able to be making multiple versions of a game in tandem, getting it out to multiple devices, being able to self-publish in multiple areas as well. And don't get me wrong, I'm not defending the whole publishing issue. They signed up with the publishers. You know, they should have made sure things were good to go. But let's not pretend as well, publishers can shaft developers sometimes also, which is another thing I wanted to mention, because, you know, a few people were talking about that, which, you know, they're not wrong. They're not wrong. But I do think we looking at the previous post, in my opinion, it's definitely a publisher issue, right? It was definitely a publisher issue. But you can't absolve the developers from all of their responsibility as well. They signed up with them. They're working in tandem. It was a problem of all of the moving parts of the whole, wasn't it, really? So I'm not defending the developers here, and I'm definitely not defending the publishers. But I think I'm going to acknowledge we're moving in the right direction at last. Ever since launch, it's just been going backwards. I think we finally maybe we hit rock bottom now. We're getting up. We're dusting our shoulders off, and hopefully we can start to stride forward now, and the game just gets better, right? Because at the end of the day, you know, more better games are better for us, right? I want more games that are good to play and give me variety. Now, is this going to be enough for a lot of players? Probably not. This is going to take a lot to get people back, and hopefully they can weather the storm until they're in that position to really start pulling people back in. We'll see. I guess only time will tell. But I'd love to know what you guys think in the comment section, guys. If you did enjoy the video, give it a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you all in the next one. Ta-ra.